I guess ladies first. We'll now welcome candidate Sheila. Say your middle name for me. Sheila Shefferless McCormick. And incumbent Representative Alcee Hastings. Alrighty. So again, I would actually take a point of personal privilege for this federal race to allow 1 minute introduction. I'm going to take a point of personal privilege, and then I'll offer 2 questions. Both of you will get the same 2 questions, all right? May we have a minute, please? And who will go first? All right, Ms. Sheila Shefferless McCormick, Democrat.
Good evening. My name is Sheila Shefferless McCormick, and I'm a Broward County girl, daughter of Broward County. I was raised in Miramar, Florida. I went to Howard University for my undergraduate degree, University of Maryland for my MBA, did extensive work there, and also St. Thomas University for law school. Presently, I own a healthcare company, have over 600 employees. I also lobby Congress on healthcare issues. I've gone back and forth, bringing our attention, our issues to Congress, and letting them know what we're going through. The reason why I'm running is because it's time for change. It's time for progress in our community. I have a vision for our community for us to go further. This vision includes us being able to grow our small businesses by bringing tech companies into our district. It also encompasses bringing healthcare issues, healthcare in our district, excuse me. And what I'm talking about is mental health. We have a mental health situation that we need addressed. In addition, I want to grow our district by empowering small business owners like myself to actually foster more jobs, job skills training, so we can go further. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila Shefferless McCormick, and now to incumbent Representative Alcee Hastings.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Pompano. It's a delight to be here in the E. Pat Larkins Center. It's a good feeling for all of us that knew Pat and knew all the work that he did. I'm a 5th generation Floridian. I was born in Altamont Springs, Florida. I moved here in 1964 and formed a partnership with George Allen. When I arrived here, George sent me used to have municipal courts. My first case was in Pompano Beach, Florida, in its municipal court. I don't know how many people in here remember Bill Johnson, but when I thought about all the things that we have done together, and I think about Bill and I being shot at in Belgrade that I now represent, trying to register people, and the amount of housing that we sought for migrants and the formation of the Legal Migrant Services Program. Listen, I've been in this business about the business of our people.
Time. Thank you. Your first question. Your district covers many households struggling to make ends meet. What would you say is the most pressing economic matter in your district that you would work on when going to the U.S. House of Representatives?
I'm already working on infrastructure as something that's particularly important, but modernization of our school system. You're going to hear from school board candidates in a little while, but we need wraparound services for many of those persons that you're talking about that will allow for child care or transportation, the things that people need in order to be able to assist their children. Critically, as we move toward artificial intelligence, please know this, it's going to be important for our children to be able to use the internet. I have been a leader in Congress in trying to make sure that rural and poor areas have internet access, and it's critically important in my view. That would be among the #1 things that I will continue to urge.
Thank you. Mr. Shefferless McCormick.
Yes, as a mother in the district, a mother of 2 and a wife, the biggest issue I see is opportunity. And as a small business owner, we don't have enough opportunities. We could talk about jobs all day, but how are we going to actually raise the wage limit if we don't have an industry to sustain it? So I'm passionate about public-private partnerships, where we can have another industry come in town. Could you imagine if we had Amazon here? We need to encourage these industries to come into our district so they can help with the business owners, and they can also help with the children getting jobs and the people in our district getting jobs. We also need job skills training for jobs? How are we going to get our people right now, the parents right now, ready for these jobs? I'm committed to having a program where we can have the baby boomers mentor the Generation Xers, mentor the millennials, so they have the professional skills, the ethics skills, so they can get these jobs and to perform at a great basis so we can make more money in this district. The real issue we're having is how do we feed our families? How do we get them health care? Thank you.
All right. Well, both of you have very extensive platforms, but very little time. You run every 2 years. What is the most pressing issue that you will be committed to change if elected for this next term? You first, Ms. Shifless.
The most pressing issue we have is healthcare. And I have to say this as a healthcare professional, I see every day how our community does not have access to adequate healthcare. And it's really in our district. I see the other districts that are neighboring us, and I ask myself every single day, why don't our people have access? It upsets me. This is one of the things that led me to Congress, to go lobbying and telling them, it's not fair that my people don't have the same things that the other districts do. And that's why I'm running. Mental health is a big issue that affects every single piece of us, including education, including our jobs, including our parents, and we must take it seriously. So right now we're at a cusp where healthcare is being decided and we get to shape it. And I'm running so I can have my hands in it. I've been shaping it since the Affordable Health Care Act in 2010. And I'm running so I can do it again. But this time, we're actually gonna be there, at the table. We're gonna be sitting there. And not just only our district, but the women will be sitting there. And we'll be determining what's gonna happen with our health care, what's gonna happen with our bodies, and what's gonna happen for our children. Thank you.
Representative Hastings.
Thank you so very much. Voting rights. Section 2 has pretty much been our only hope that we have right now. Section 5, for all intents and purposes, has been eliminated. It affects our community. It affects this country very much. And the kind of obstruction that we have seen in voter suppression is among the things that I consider important. But I would be terribly remiss, even though I'm running for re-election for Congress, if I did not mention the importance of when we do select persons for governor, that we make sure we stay together. We each have a right to our own opinions about who we support. But when it comes to staying together, it is critical for us to look at November and be sure to know that we need to re-elect Bill Nelson and that we need to have a governor in this state and an attorney general and cabinet officials that will respond. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all the time that we have for the U.S. House of Representatives District 20. We'll be well served no matter who heads to D.C. Thank you so much. Let's hear it for Representative Alcee Hastings and Sheila Shifless McCormick. Thank you for being here, both of you. Now we're going to move to our statewide races. We're going to begin with Attorney General. The Attorney General is a statewide elected official directed by the Florida Constitution to serve as the chief legal officer for the state of Florida. The Attorney General is responsible for protecting Florida consumers from various types of fraud and enforcing the state's antitrust laws. The position is currently being held by who? Pam Bondi. I was just checking to see if you were listening. All right. So we'll welcome, I believe we have one of the 4 candidates, and the second one will be represented by Mr. Gary Farmer. So I'm going to recommend that you come forward. On behalf of Sean Shaw, Democrat, we're going to have State Representative Gary Farmer speak on his behalf. Welcome. And we have Mr. Ryan Torrance. I think I got to meet you at the last forum. How are you, Ryan? Welcome. Do we have any other candidates for Attorney General present? All right, you two will be doing your introduction. So, all right, way to get to know you. Way to get to know you. Okay. Way to get to know you. All right. All right. Okay. Chatting it up here. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I know about Sean Shaw and then allow you to do a 30-second introduction because he's not here today, unable to make it. He is 40 years old. He is the son of the late Leander Shaw, the first African-American Chief Justice on the Florida Supreme Court. And he ran, I know, in 2014 for a Florida House seat, lost, and then won in 2016 before going to work for the Tampa law firm, the Merlin Group, where he represented consumers against insurance companies. So we're going to have Mr. Farmer. I'm going to only ask Mr. Torrens the questions, but you can go ahead and say what you need to say.
Thank you very much. And Chevron Jones was supposed to be here on behalf of Sean. Chevron had another obligation he had to get to, so I am filling in at the last minute. Sean is a longtime friend of mine. We have worked and collaborated together. I am in the Florida Senate, he's in the Florida House. Together we have worked on consumer protection, more public school funding, expanding access to affordable health care. Sean has taken on insurance companies both as the insurance consumer advocate, working for the state, and as in private practice. Fought for victims of the BP oil spill, has been a champion on gun reform, and will take on the pharmaceutical industry over the opioid crisis, and those seeking to defraud consumers. That's all the time I have. Sean Shaw,
All
thank
right,
you.
I'm going to ask you to exit the stations. We only have the one candidate here. You can exit. Thank you. All right, your turn for your introduction. Go ahead. This is Mr. Ryan Torrens.
Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? Good. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Ryan Torrens. I am a consumer protection attorney from Tampa, running for Florida Attorney General. What I do for a living is I sue big banks, debt collectors, and other big companies when they rip people off. I am proud to be the only candidate in this race, the only candidate who will not take one penny from the abusive payday lenders that are getting people stuck in that debt trap. It's disgusting. We are campaigning for strong consumer protection, voting rights, and also a more fair, less racist criminal justice system in this state. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Your first question. Based on both you and Sean's website, you both emphasize you would like your office to work hard on your consumer protections duties and to crack down on fraud and identity theft. You also have both pledged to advocate for stricter gun laws and to protect the Affordable Care Act. Let us know your plans if you are elected.
Absolutely, I'd be happy to. So, one, we need a strong consumer protection division within the Office of the Attorney General with dedicated staff. Pam Bondi has basically destroyed the Consumer Protection Division. We need a dedicated voting rights enforcement division because obviously Pam Bondi and Rick Scott and the rest of them won't protect our voting rights, so your Attorney General needs to do that. We also need a predatory lending unit that will crack down on these payday lenders and these other debt collectors that are ripping our people off. Those are just a few of the things we need to do. We also need to investigate these big pharmaceutical company executives criminally for purposely getting our people hooked on these drugs. We have to pay for that and they get rich, and that's wrong. I won't take a penny from those big pharmaceutical companies. I'm the only candidate in this race who has not taken one penny from any big corporate interest, not one penny, and we are very proud of that. It's time to really have a people's lawyer. That's what I do in my own practice, and that's what I'll do for you.
Thank you. Second question. What is your position on Stand Your Ground?
That one's simple. Repeal it.
You have a
It has no place in this state, and I think it is absolutely hypocritical that these Republicans pretend to be tough on crime, but yet they're going to defend Stand Your Ground, which amounts to a license for kill. People are getting gunned down in the streets because of the color of their skin, and people are getting off of it because of Stand Your Ground. That's wrong, and I will not defend it as your Attorney General.
You have more time. Anything else?
Thank you, that's it for me. Look, I'm a consumer lawyer, but I've also done criminal defense work. I have personally represented minority juveniles in our criminal justice system. I have seen these problems up close and personal. It's time to have an Attorney General who will be on the right side of these issues, fight for a more fair criminal justice system, not the pipeline to prison, not a justice system where the color of your skin is a sentencing factor. That's what happens now. It's wrong, and I will fight against that as your Attorney General. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
Please rest your mic down. Thank you. So we had two candidates represented here tonight. For Attorney General, that would be Mr. Sean Shaw, Democrat, and Mr. Ryan Torrens, Democrat. Thank you. Is anybody here for Chief Financial Officer? Did anyone sign in for that? Chief Financial, are you here or no? Are you just, oh no, okay. Sorry, you got me confused. Chief Financial Officer Richard Paul Davidsky, no? Jim Patronis or Jeremy Ring? Okay, great, so we're moving on. Commissioner of Agriculture. Candidates for Commissioner of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs, they addressed the #2 economic engine in our state, which is agriculture, and they also address consumer services, which is basically anything you have a problem with as far as commerce. I would say consumer complaints fall under, if a business doesn't do you right, this is who you're gonna call, right? So we have candidates, Nikki Freed, as well as, is this Mr. Porter? For Commission of Agriculture, what's your name? Give me a card. All right. Luis Perez Codina. Luis Perez Codina. I have two others. Okay. So welcome to both of you. You can start, Mr. Perez Codina, with your 30-second introduction.
Thank you, ma'am. My name is Luis Perez Codina, Luis for short. I'm here on behalf of Representative Matt Caldwell, North Fort Myers. And I can tell you, I know Matt as a farmer myself. I was doing watermelons in Arcadia, as well as trading down here in Pompano for cantaloupe as well. Matt has been a steward on environmental policy, on water policy, which is a major issue today, as we know. And these are the type of issues that he'll be dealing with, as well as consumer services and blue-collar jobs.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to leave the stage. So your candidate's name is, can you just clarify for me? Your candidate's name is?
Matt Caldwell.
Matt Caldwell. So speaking on behalf of Matt Caldwell was Mr. Luis Perez Codina. Thank you. Next, for Commissioner of Agriculture, is Nikki Freed.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. My name is Nikki Freed. I'm running for Commissioner of Agriculture and Consumer Services, a Democrat. I'm here from Broward County, born and raised in Miami. I'm a 15-year practicing attorney where I went to the University of Florida for my undergrad, my master's, and my law degree. And I've been spending the last 7 years up and back in Tallahassee, fighting for public education, fighting for medical marijuana, and fighting for foster care kids. And want to take this fight to make sure that finally, the people of Florida are having a voice in Tallahassee, which has not been done the last 20 years.
Time. You have 2 questions. You can stay standing. What distinguishes you from your opponents?
As a 15-year practicing attorney, I've been able to see all the different injustices across our state. I was a 3.5-year public defender up in Alachua County, where I saw criminal justice up close and personal. And after the last 7 years of fighting for medical marijuana, foster care kids, and public education, I saw personally how the people of the state of Florida did not have a voice in Tallahassee. And I'm the type of person who goes out there who fights for the people, fights to make sure that things are getting right. And for 20 years, we've had one party overseeing our environment, our water, our energy policies. And it is time to make a difference. I'm the only candidate in the Democratic field who can beat the Republicans. The only person who's going to be able to take this fight to Tallahassee and to make sure that we as Floridians are finally having a voice in Tallahassee. And I know that once getting up into Tallahassee, we are going to start putting our environment, our water, and our energy as a priority, and our consumers, which have been neglected for 20 years in Tallahassee. It is time to make a difference, and I am that person who will make that difference.
Thank you. This next question addresses your role in the cabinet. The governor is the elected chief executive of the state. The governor, along with 3 additional state executives, namely the Attorney General, the Chief Financial Officer, and the Commissioner of Agriculture and Consumer Services, make up what's called the Florida Cabinet. The cabinet system consists of a few boards and commissions, which include the State Board of Executive Clemency and the Department of Law Enforcement. People of color are disproportionately imprisoned in the state of Florida. As a member of the Clemency Board, what will you do to correct this problem?
Well, first off, I hope that Amendment 4 passes. God willing that we get the voters out there and we pass Amendment 4. But I can tell you if it doesn't pass, as a past public defender, I saw firsthand the injustice in our criminal justice system. I saw people of color, black and brown, being improperly arrested. And every single time, most of the time, the police report starts off with, I smell of cannabis. That has to end. And I can promise you that from day one I get onto that clemency board, you will have a fighter, somebody who understands what it means to give people a second chance. You've served your time, it is time to get you back into society. We need everybody to be out and about. The fact that we're spending $4.5 million a year keeping people out of our system is not right. We must bring back our people into society, give them their rights back, and make sure that we are changing clemency, because we are the only state only state that doesn't have automatic restoration of rights, and that will change if I'm in the cabinet.
Time. I must admit, I know her from University of Florida, Ms. Nicole Nikki Freed. Nothing has changed, darling. Let's hear from Ms. Nikki Freed. All right, now to Florida State Senate races, District 34, you're up next. We're gonna start with, you've heard from him before, Mr. Gary D. Democrat. Gary D. Farmer. Gary Farmer, Democrat. All right, Senator Gary Farmer. Richard House Sturm. Am I saying this right? Not here? Jim Waldman. Look at that. All right, so you'll have 30 seconds. No one else from Senate District 34? Okay, you have 30 seconds to do your introduction.
Hello again, everybody. I am Gary Farmer. I'm your senator for District 34. I was elected 2 years ago. Thank you. Elected 2 years ago. Have been fighting hard in Tallahassee for traditional democratic values, things like funding public education, protecting our environment, making sure we have sensible gun safety laws, and ensuring that all people are treated fairly and justly. I spent my entire career representing people who've been wronged in some way, or shape, or form. I have continued that battle in Tallahassee, and I want to go back and continue the fight.
All right, we have a couple questions for you, sir. What would you say is the most pressing matter in your district that you are seeking to represent if re-elected in the state legislature?
Well, I think we here in Broward County are adversely affected by a lot of bad Republican policies that have occurred over the last 20 years. There's been a lot of talk about gun safety issues. I think that's an important issue. But frankly, I think the most important thing, the thing that I fought most in my career so far in Tallahassee, has been education. We are cheating our children. We are cheating our businesses. We are cheating our teachers. We are 45th in the country in education funding. Our teachers have to work second and third jobs to pursue the American dream. We are just not funding the education system to an adequate level. And it not only harms our kids, it takes away the American dream from them, but when we talk about wanting to build our economy and make sure everybody's doing well, businesses are not going to want to come to Florida if their employees can't have good schools to send their kids to, and if they can't hire from an intelligent, trained workforce. So I think restoring funding to our public education is the #1 issue for this district.
Thank you. Gary Farmer, you have been quoted to say that you want to be, quote, a loud, vocal advocate for consumers and those simply trying to make it day to day. I hope you got that quote right. What legislation do you hope to propose to help those in middle and working class status to make ends meet despite the cutbacks from the governor's office?
Well, I will go back and continue on my answer to the last question, education. If you don't have a good public education system to rely on, you end up having to spend your own funds for tutoring or maybe even private school. And so I think that's something that helps everybody. We need to raise our minimum wage. Our minimum wage is too low. It is not a livable wage. I have championed on that issue. I have championed on something Mr. Torrance talked about a minute ago, these predatory payday lenders. People who are trying to make ends meet, trying to just get the money to get from one set of bills to the next, are being taken advantage of in our community way too much. I did not file that legislation, but I worked closely with the sponsors of that legislation, and I was glad we were able to defeat a bad bill this past session, but it's something that we have to continue to keep our eye on.
Will you refile that bill?
I absolutely will.
Okay, thank you. You heard it here first. Mr. Gary Farmer, Senate District 34, running against Richard House Strum and Jim Waldman. Thank you for being here. Thank
For having me. Thank you, everybody.
Moving on to Florida House District 92. District 92 encompasses areas of Deerfield Beach, Pompano Beach, Oakland Park, Fort Lauderdale, Margate, and Tamarack. There are 2 candidates running for the seat. And I think we have both of them here. I see them coming forward. First, we have Ms. Paulette B. Armstead coming forward, Democrat, as well as Ms. Patricia Hawkins Williams, Democrat, as well. All right, so I've been told time is of the essence. So you're going to start with the introduction, and I'm going to give you 1 individual question each, all right? You hear it again? I'm going to give you guys your introduction, and 1 each question. We're going to go forward like one-on-ones, okay? Okay? So, we please start with Miss Paulette V. Armstead. You can do your 30-second introduction. There's your mic.
Thank you. I'm honored to have had the endorsement of Sun Central, and this is what they said: the voters in Florida House District 92 should choose challenger Paulette Armstead over incumbent Representative Patricia Hawkins Williams to represent them in Tallahassee. She is clearly the better qualified candidate. I was born and raised in Florida, educated at Florida schools. I'm the only candidate with hands-on work experience in law enforcement. I was a police officer, only candidate with hands-on experience teaching at the university.
Thank you very much. I know that's quick, but we've got to keep moving. And Patricia Hawkins Williams.
I am Patricia Hawkins Williams, born and raised in the great city of Pompano Beach. Graduated from Eden High School, the only type of the Golden Talent. The only person in the race that is a member of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. Send them talent back to talent.
All right, so we're going to start with Ms. Armstead. Your question. District 92's median household income is $38,000, nearly $10,000 below the state median. What legislation will you propose to bring much-needed economic help to our community? I'll repeat it. District 92's median income is $38,000, nearly $10,000 below the state median. What legislation will you propose to bring much-needed economic help to those in our community?
Two things. Number one, I do support raising the minimum wage hourly minimum wage to $15 per hour. The second thing is I support any of our job training programs, whether it be on-the-job training, apprenticeship programs, vocational programs, because once people get those skills, they can get jobs in these high-wage paying areas like construction, like in healthcare. So those are the two things that I think are primary for raising the wage.
If you have 30 seconds left, if you'd like to make any closing statements.
The issues facing District 92, definitely on jobs. The other thing is on gun violence. I know we're going to balance our Second Amendment right, but I am opposed to stand your ground. I want to repeal that. I am a support of banning the military-style assault weapons with civilians. When it comes to housing, there's a housing crisis here in
Say your name, it's okay. That's Ms. Paulette V. Armstead and Ms. Patricia Hawkins Williams. Your question. You have called for increasing the funding for early childhood education and investment in apprenticeship programs. What appropriations and tax dollars can be given directly to schools to ensure that they can offer quality education programs to our children? I'll repeat the question. Would you like me to repeat it? You have been called for increasing the funding for early childhood education and investment in apprenticeship programs. What appropriations and tax dollars can be given directly to our schools to ensure that they offer quality education programs to our children?
Any incorporation, any incorporators, any businesses, anything that raise money in your district can filter their tax dollars to our schools. A lot of people don't understand, instead of paying your taxes to the Internal Revenue, you can pay your taxes to any organization or group that educates our children. In order for our children to have a fair foundation, we need to make sure that early education starts early and everything is funded so that our public schools can get the same education that everyone else gets.
Your closing remarks, you have 30 seconds.
My closing remarks, I am Patricia Hawkins Williams. I have been endorsed by several groups and organizations that works with me in Tallahassee. I have been an elected official since 2008 and have never received the endorsement of Sun Central. So therefore, I have the endorsement of the people that I work for.
You can exit. Thank you again to both of our candidates for District 92, Ms. Paulette V. Armstead, as well as Patricia Hawkins Williams. Thank you so much, ladies. Next, we'll move on. Thank you to Florida House Representative District 93. Any 93s are here? 93s are here? You haven't given me names. M. Cullum. Emma. Emma, come on down. Are there any other District 93 candidates? Okay, District 93 encompasses, well, we'll say this, Deerfield Beach, Pompano Beach, Lighthouse Point, Fort Lauderdale, and Oakland Park. You may have your 30-second introduction.
Hi, everybody.
Back Monday, too, I'm sorry. Yes, we did.
I'm following you on this circuit tour.
Yeah, it's great.
Hi, everybody. My name is Emma Collum, and I am the Democratic running for District 93. I'm running because I don't just believe in equality for all Floridians, I believe in equity for all Floridians. I'm running because as a litigator, I fought for domestic violence survivors, I fought for union workers, I fought for indigent tenants that were being illegally thrown out of their homes. As a legislative aide, I work for marriage equality and anti-fracking legislation. And here I'm going to fight for public education, environmental rights, and infrastructure change.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Cullum. Tell me, what do you think is the most pressing issue in your district, and how will you address it if you go to Tallahassee?
Sure. The most pressing issue, not just for my district, but for all of Floridians, is Medicaid expansion. We here in Florida have literally left billions of dollars on the table. Those billions of dollars have left close to 1 million people without any form of insurance besides an emergency room. That doesn't mean that just those million people pay for that. The impact also goes on those who are fortunate enough to have insurance, and it shows up in our premiums. Further, we have right now only $7,100 spent per student in Florida. That is 43rd in the national average. Our teachers are paid 47th in the national average. We are the 3rd largest state, and we are doing our students, we are doing our public education teachers a disservice, and I am going to go to Tallahassee. I'm not just going to fight for education, I'm going to fight for public education, Medicaid expansion, and making sure that every Floridian, regardless of race, creed, or gender, is treated fairly up in Tallahassee. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cullum. Second question, are historically black colleges and universities still important? And what role should they play in the state of Florida?
Historically black colleges and universities are paramount to the incredible education system that we have in Florida, and yet we have a system run by a GOP-run legislature and governorship that has put them 3rd in funding under primarily private and some public educations. And the reason that that happens is because of the unequitable playing field we have here in Florida. We are doing a performance-based payment plan which makes these historically black colleges and universities suffer. And for me, that has to change immediately, and those budgets need to be raised, that not just are those amazing colleges and universities given more funding, but that we're making sure that our students who are going there aren't leaving with enough debt that they can't start their lives, they can't invest in homes, they can't invest in small businesses. We need to even the playing field, and I'm going to do that in Tallahassee.
All right, Ms. Emma. That was District 93's passionate candidate, Ms. Emma Cullum. Thank you. Let's hear it for her.
I'm on the November 6th ballot, so I'll see y'all there.
Okay, you can leave your mic. Thank you. Going to District 96. District 96 encompasses areas of Parkland, Margate, Coconut Creek, Coral Springs, and parts of Tamarack. Let's see, do we have any of the 2 candidates here? They include Saima Faruqi, as well as Kristen Jacobs. Nada? Oh, they missed out. All right. So we'll go to Florida House District 97. 97 we have, let me ask first, Imtiaz Ahmad Mohammed? Jared Moskowitz? No? All right, they're missing a great opportunity. So we'll move on now to School Board and County Commission. Okay, we'll do everything together. All right, so far for School Board, I see Tennille DaCosta. Hi, welcome, someone who is here, thank you. And School District, oh, she's School District 4. And School District 7, I have Nora Rupert, who's the incumbent. Welcome, Nora. And Mr. Michael Olbo. Olbo? Come on down. And then from here, I think all we have is Pompano Commission. Do we have any school board at large members? Hi, come on down. Any other school board members? Okay, Elijah Manley. Tell me, wait. Tell me about your race. What are you running for? School board at large. Manley. Okay, 30-second introduction. We'll start with Mr. Mike Obell.
Good evening, I'm Mike Obell. I'm running for Broward County School Board, District 7. Born and raised right here in the city of Pompano Beach, right off the shore cliff. Many of y'all know where that's at. Three of my sisters are Delta Sigma Davis Sorority Incorporated. My sister New England Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority as well. Listen, make no mistake about it, we need some significant change in District 7. Most importantly, across the school board, we have some hard issues that's taking place that we need to address. Make sure our budget is balanced correctly. Make sure we can hold the leaders of the school board accountable for our taxpayer dollars. I'm Mike Obell, running for Broward County School Board, District 7.
Thank you. Now to the incumbent, Ms. Nora Rupert.
Good evening. Hey, I have been on the school board for 8 years, and this year I have the pleasure of being the school chair. We've seen a lot of change in our district. When I first got elected, we had 13 very low performing schools. We now have 1, and I can look at every one of you and I can say thank you, because my community of caring initiative, bringing the public into our schools to partner with our students and our teachers, it's working. And I have every confidence that we're going to continue to get better in District 7. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rupert. Ms. Tennille DaCosta.
Hi, I'm Tennille Doe DaCosta. I represent District 4. And the reason why I'm running is because my son survived the massacre on February 14th at MSD. I feel like our teachers are not getting paid enough, and I had the passion to put in programs that we need, just like mental health programs. I already serve the public. I've been working for the government for over 16 years, so I have the ability to work on billion-dollar and million-dollar budgets. You need somebody that knows what they're doing, that can make sound decisions, not off emotions, but to make changes.
Thank you. And finally, Mr. Elijah Macklin.
Hi, my name is Elijah Macklin, 19, proud product of the Broward County public school system. I'm running because I feel like it's time for some real change to happen in this district. I don't believe that we should make our schools into prisons. I believe that we should empower our students, invest money into the mental health funding, appoint real leaders on the school board who will do great things for all of our communities. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Elijah Macklin.
Countywide, at large.
Countywide at large. All right. We'll start with a very easy question, and again, to both all of you will get the same 2 questions. Do you support increasing teacher pay?
I definitely support increasing teacher pay. As someone who's in the classroom, I notice teachers are often teaching these 6, 7 classes and 30 students in each class, kids with different challenges, and they underpaid. You know, we gotta fire. These teachers are heroes. I'm here today because a teacher was helped save my life. I'm here today because someone took the time out to really encourage me and empower me. And that's what we need to continue to do. We need to empower our teachers because they are empowering our kids. And remember, our teachers truly deserve the best. I'm Mike Obell.
Thank you. Ms. Burke. The question was, do you support increasing teachers' pay?
Absolutely, and I don't really mean to be self-serving, but I am the only certified teacher here in the state of Florida that's running. And I gotta tell you, the BTU and the teachers, they're working very hard. They're the #1 reason that children excel in a classroom is our teachers, our paras and our teachers. We cannot do enough for them. We are way, way down in the area across the United States when it comes to averages for schools. Terrible, we're towards the bottom. So we need to pay them more, we need to respect them more, and we need to look up to them as professionals. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Tennille DaCosta.
Absolutely, I support teachers' pay. That's all I talk about. Because if it wasn't for an educator, I wouldn't be in my career where I'm at right now. I have a daughter who has special needs, which means she needs a lot of help. And I love the teachers that's helped her. She'll be a senior at MSD this year. If it wasn't for teachers who paid very close attention to my daughter, I don't know where she would be. So definitely teachers need an increase. I always use this example. We have doctors who save our lives every day. Well, we have teachers who mold our children's brain from kindergarten all the way to high school. They need to be paid the big dollars.
Thank you. And rounding us out, at large seat, Mr. Elijah Manley.
Absolutely. If it wasn't for teachers, I'd probably be in prison right now or somewhere else running around out on the street. I'm glad and I support our teachers and I support paying our teachers more money because they're the ones that are keeping our children educated, keeping our children out of prison, and helping them go into a successful life. And we also need more money for education funding too. The criminal governor that we have and the state government that we have are not funding our education like they should. So I'm really hoping that you all will send us a governor in November that's going to adequately fund education because there's only so much the school board can do with the money that it has.
Thank you. I will leave this question broad. I would like to know your position on arming teachers or other proposals to make schools safer. What proposals would you make if elected to the school board?
Well, look, I am married to a law enforcement officer for the city of Fort Lauderdale. And I tell you what, one thing she always said, my beautiful wife, my college sweetheart, that when I go in the room, there's no sign on the teacher that said I'm a licensed carrying teacher. When she walks in the room, she's taking the first shot to get rid of the victim, right? We gotta really protect our kids. We really have to protect our kids. And what do that look like? Maybe single people named injured. Maybe we might need metal detectors if we're gonna keep our kids safe. Look, I know some communities you go to, they don't want it. Some other communities, they want it. The reality of it is, if I can hug my 2-year-old son when he comes home, obviously he'll be older, but if I can hug him when he comes home, I'll be more than happy. The worst thing we need to have is a parent coming home and their child not meeting them at the front door. So we need security. We need more law enforcement present. And so that's how we should be moving forward on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Obel. Back to incumbent, Ms. Nora Rupert. The question is, what is your position on arming teachers as a proposal to make schools safer? And if not, what other proposals would you make if elected?
Thank you. Arming teachers is not a possibility right now for our teachers. However, there is a subgroup where they can be part of the Guardian program if they so choose. They can carry. However, we have talked endlessly with the BTU and teachers around the county. They don't want that. They're our first responders when it comes to education. They don't want to have anything else put on their life when we're there. So the school board voted no for arming our teachers because we think that they're professionals and they're the ones that need to just be focused on that. And the new day is, besides being in the classroom, now they're doing the safety drills and making everybody crazy about it. But we know that this time around, our eyes are opened after Douglas, but the teachers did not want to be armed. We had a very substantial survey with them and conversations, and it was time and time again. However, by the beginning of school, we will have an SRO and or a guardian in every single one of the classes in Broward County. Thank you.
Thank you. Now to Ms. Tennille DeCosta.
No, we need to arm our teachers with more money, not guns. Why do you fix a problem by putting more problems into the school? So absolutely not, I'm against it. And we need to just stop focusing on school safety. What about the 75,000 students that ride the bus to and from school? What about them? What about the children that cross the street that walk to school? We need to make sure they're safe. So if an SRO has to be in school, they need to be at the crossing street where they get to the school, because we have a lot of children getting hit by cars. So no, I don't want to arm teachers, and I want to focus on not just school safety, but the buses as well.
All right, thank you. You had 30 seconds left. Did you want to add anything? You have 30 seconds left.
What makes me different from my opponent, I'm here today, and I'm fighting for our children.
All righty. Wrapping us up will be Mr. Elijah Manley.
Absolutely. That doesn't make me feel safer, and I don't feel safer sending my little sister, my little nephew to school if I know the teacher's going to have it. I'm not proud of that. And the other thing I'm going to say is, I think we need to stop this. Let's militarize our schools thing. Let's turn our schools into correctional facilities. I don't like that idea. When I'm on the school board, I'm going to oppose that. I'm running against a guy who actually thinks that we need to have armed guards in every classroom, armed teachers. We need to make our schools into this fortress. We need to invest in long-term solutions, like investing in mental health funding, investing in putting more guidance counselors into our schools, things that are actually proven to work. Arming teachers isn't going to solve the problem. So I'll say this to Mr. Petty and Mrs. Corn: invest in solutions that actually work, not try to pander to different communities.
Let us stand by district. So in District 7, we have Ms. Nora Rupert and Mr. Mike Obel. Thank you. You may exit the stage. 4, we have Ms. Tennille DeCosti. Thank you, may I to the stage. And for the at-large position, we have Mr. Elijah Manley. Thank you. Next, we will look at the race for Pompano Beach Mayor. I believe there are 4 candidates, and I have that 3 are here. Rex Harden, you're welcome to the stage. Michael Sobel, you're welcome to the stage, as well as Cynthia Floyd. Cindy, they have Cynthia. Cindy? Tell me, come. Come on. Take your seats, please. Cindy Floyd. Okay, the breach is Mr. Rex Harden. Welcome. Okie dokie, that's all right. We'll start with the mayor. We're gonna have to back into county commissioner, but that's all right. So, for your introductions, you may start. We have Miss, and I'll say the name, Debrecia Lassane, as well as Cindy Floyd, as well as Mr. Rex Harden. And this again, our opponents for Pompano Beach Mayor. You have 30 seconds to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Debrecia Lassane. I was born and deprived in this city of my choices and opportunities of growth. I'm here to end gentrification and unite the city through economic growth. I will fight for political, industrial, social, and economic changes. Thank you.
Thank you. You can pass the mic to Mr. Rex Harden. We cross him. Rex Harden.
Thank you very much. I am Rex Harden, running for mayor of Pompano Beach. I've been in office now since 2007, a couple years before that. I've worked with some great names in Pompano Beach. Current Mayor Lamar Fisher, past Mayor Pat Larkins. We've done a lot of things in Pompano Beach, moved things forward in our city. We've got a lot yet to do for the entire community, not the east side, not the west side, but for our entire city. I look forward to those challenges, look forward to working with all our elected officials to make sure that things happen in Pompano Beach for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, Miss Cindy Floyd.
Hello, good evening. My name is Cindy Floyd. I'm a lifelong citizen, resident here in Pompano Beach. Today, August 6th, is my birthday. I've lived in Pompano 51 years, and that's gotta count for something, right? I'm here with you beautiful people today, and my mission is to continue the great works that our current mayor has been doing, and also a few
Time. Thank you. Sorry about that. You will get to respond to your questions. Alrighty, we'll start here with Ms. Lassane. What do you think is the most pressing issue, and if elected mayor, how will you address it? Most pressing issue for the residents of Pompano Beach, and how will you address it?
The most pressing issue in Pompano Beach is equality. For the longest, we sit as residents, but never as officials. They never come to our high schools and middle schools and tell us we only have to be 21 to be the mayor. I'm 33 years old and they think I'm young. But that's the difference, the equality of opportunities. We don't have that here at all. We have 967 full-time and part-time jobs. 627 of those jobs are to non-residents. So that is a huge problem because we're sending millions in salaries outside of our city. That also builds up local traffic and local ozone hazards. If we have more people that are from the city working in the city, we have more people that care about their job, also care about where they live. We grew up in here at Pompano, we always knew our officers by name, whether white or black. The officers we know now are the new recruits. BSO sent all the new employees down here to Pompano Beach. We need everybody in the city to be us. Thank you.
Time. Thank you. Going to Mr. Rex Harden.
Thank you very much. The most pressing issue facing our city today is economic development in the west side of our town. For too long, we've been focused on the east side of town. There was a reason for that, though. That was the easiest place to get the bang for the buck to get folks coming to Pompano Beach as tourism. But now, moving forward, we need to focus on the west side of our community to make sure that everyone feels like they're part of the process in Pompano Beach and is sharing in the bounty that we have as this great city. We've worked hard to move Pompano Beach forward to where it is today. We've invested in infrastructure, we've invested in our communities, we've got huge things happening here on MLK Boulevard. We've got City Vista just recently opened, but we need to do a lot more. We've got plans. Our innovation district in the Northwest here on MLK is going to transform this area, and I'll tell you what, you talk about economic opportunity and economic development, that's what we've got coming. But that's what we need to focus on in Pompano Beach moving forward. That will help solve a lot of the problems that we face in this community right now as far as the divisions we're all looking at. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Harden. And finally, Ms. Cindy Floyd.
Come on, Cindy.
The thing I'm most passionate about and the areas of concern for me, safer, smarter schools, affordable housing, senior citizens. I've worked in senior living care for 25 years. Being a biller, I know that you have to start by assessing the budget, doing what it takes to take a little bit from here and put a little bit there to make some things work. That's what I know that we'll have to do to make housing more affordable. Safer, smarter schools. I'd like to see more resource officers placed in the schools instead of making suggestions that teachers bear arms. My plan is to have resource officers at the school, more resource officers placed at the schools. Thank you.
What would be your approach to decreasing crime in our community?
My approach to decreasing crime is actually giving us resource centers with a name. So if our youth are the problem, our youth love music. So if we have a free recording studio for our youth, that's less kids on the streets. We have men that work hard all day. When they get off work, they want to drink and sit down and laugh. If we have chess parks, we have interactive things that we love to do in our city, that's the difference without crime. If we have opportunities to work in the city that we live in, that will help with crime. We act like this is something that just happens because out of design. No, it's another design, a system that is outdated. We are here for the change of that system. We can't keep playing into this system of like, you let somebody pay to get your attention for a vote, but we know exactly what they're doing. It's a difference and we need to change that difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lassane. To Mr. Harden, what would be your approach to decreasing crime in our community?
Well, the City Commission just took steps to actually increase the presence of the police force in Pompano Beach to help address crime issues. We just recently put in the budget so we can hire not school resource officers, but community service aides. Through the VSO, they're going to have additional resources who can go out and take care of things like traffic accidents, things of that nature. That frees up the deputies to do the job that we need the deputies to do. Additionally, we just invested also in additional park rangers to patrol more of our parks and make sure that there aren't bad things happening there. We've gotten a lot of reports of various things going on in parks where people don't even feel safe to take their kids to the parks any longer. So this is going to help take care of these issues as far as the crime and also in our parks. It's an ongoing issue that I have talked for years now about the VSO and the resources that they need to do the job that we ask them to do. And I'm very happy that we are actually investing further in the VSO resources to maximize what we can get out of our resources.
Thank you. And finally, Ms. Cindy Floyd. Question is, what would be your approach to decreasing crime in our community?
Well, I would go old school perhaps. Back when my mom was around over in Ely Estates, we had Crime Watch, where the neighborhood, the tenants, would look after each other's apartments, like the people that didn't work would look after the people's houses that did work. And then at night, the second shift would take over. I think that would be beneficial to everyone if we bring back Neighborhood Watch. Thank you.
You have 30 seconds if you'd like to give a closing statement.
I pretty much told you everything that I stand for. I safer, smarter schools, affordable housing, senior care. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Vote for me on November 6th. Cindy Floyd, thank you.
Thank you. So that concludes our candidates for Pompano Beach Mayor. Once again, let's hear it for the three of them. Debricia Hussain, Mr. Rex Harden, and Mrs. Cindy Floyd. Thank you for your time and for being here. All right, we went local to city, but I think we have one more county election. Can we have the candidates for county commission who are present please come forward? You'd have to give me your names because we didn't get you tagged. You must have come a little after. So let us get your names right now and you can start your introductions. So this is for Broward County Commission. Okay, District 2, District 4. I remember you, Mr. Bogan. Very good. District 2, thank you. And Lamar Fisher, District 4. All right, please sit together if you're both District 2 sit next to each other. District 2 sit next to each other, District 4's Lamar Fisher, 4, correct? 4? Okay, welcome. So we have 4 candidates for County Commission, including Mr. Ryan Ross, District 2, Ms. Sherry McCartney, like Paul? Okay, Sherry McCartney, District 4, Mr. Mark Bogan, District 2, and Lamar Fisher, also District 4. So we'll start, go ahead, Mr. Ross, District 2, and then we'll follow with Mr. Bogan. Your opening statement, 30 seconds.
Thank you so much for coming out. My name is Ryan Ross. I'm running in District 2, which is Deerfield, Coconut Creek, Margate, and Pompano. Coral Springs, if I can say it. I'm a teacher now. I previously worked at Florida Atlantic University. I've been in education a long time, so I think a lot of my approach in fixing problems starts with our young, and then it looks to find a more fair economic system, I think, that addresses the inequality that's so latent in every one of our communities.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. Going to your opponent, Mr. Bogan.
Good evening, folks. My name is Mark Bogan, and I am your Broward County Commissioner. I've had the honor of serving you for the past 4 years. My background is, I've been a lawyer for 30 years. I've been an advocate fighting for people, and I think I brought that to the County Commission. I fought for workers to get higher wages. I fought for jobs to come to this community. I fought in any instance that came to me on any questions, whether it be helping the community with the CRA or any other issue. I'm here for the community. I'm here to help. I ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bogan. Now the District 4 will start with Ms. Sherry McCartney. Or you can borrow theirs if need be, please.
Good evening, is that better?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sherry McCartney. I am the former mayor of the city of Oakland Park. You may have seen what's happened in that city. The Renaissance has taken off. We did that with a laser-like focus on efficient and effective government. That's the sort of leadership that I intend to bring to the county commission. Thank you.
Thank you. And your opponent, Mr. Lamar Fisher.
Good evening, Pompano Beach, the greatest city in America as far as I'm concerned. I happen to be the current mayor of the city of Pompano Beach. I'm running for Broward County Commissioner, District 4, and I'm honored to be here tonight to be able to be part of this candidacy. My goal is obviously I'm 4th generation of Broward County. I'm born and raised, and I believe that Pompano Beach has made great strides during my leadership, and I want to continue that success. I want to continue with my extensive experience at the municipal level to bring it to the county level. So I appreciate your vote on May 6th.
Thank you. We'll start with an easy but hard one. What distinguishes you from your opponent? What distinguishes you from your opponent? We'll start with Mr. Ross.
Thank you again. I think one of the things that distinguishes me is how much I'm willing to do to bring the county commission to the people. I'm not afraid of a different party affiliation or anything. I'm donating half of the commissioner's $100,000 salary to make sure that every Broward County High School graduate has tuition and is able to go to trade school. So I think one thing that distinguishes me is that I'm not in this to enrich myself. I've already pledged away all of the money. I'm happy to keep teaching and forfeit that salary too. I want a government that serves, and I want to set a model for that, and so that I'm easily replaceable, and then someone else can come in, and we stop sort of the government that's out of sight from the public, and they can't reach you, and they can't hold you accountable, and they can't keep you, honest. So I think one of the things is that I'm just a regular person, just like you. I have 2 jobs, probably like many of you, and I'm happy to continue to do them. What I'm not happy to do is operate, sort of in the dark about big, big issues that affect our neighborhoods.
Time. Thank you, Mr. Ross. Mr. Bogan.
What I think distinguishes me is I've been out there fighting for the community for the past 30 years, and as a commissioner for 4 years. I put an issue of homelessness. I went out and got money for help the homeless. We went out, the CRA, which had millions of dollars earmarked for this community. I went out and fought, found out where is the money being spent for this community, and went out and was able to recently get a settlement to bring millions of dollars that's coming back to this community. I have a whole list of achievements, and that's the difference of what I've been able to do in trying to fight and help this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bogan. Going to Ms. Sherry McCartney. What distinguishes you most from your opponent?
Thank you. What distinguishes my experience is that I've actually turned the city around, which is what the county needs. The county needs to be more modern. The county needs to get with it. The county needs to get over its problems with traffic, transportation, housing, and it's not doing it. But what I have done is I've turned that little city around, and we did it again with efficient and effective government, and that's what I will do as a county commissioner. Thank you.
All right, last but certainly not least, Mr. Fisher, Mayor Fisher.
Thank you. First of all, I have a great opponent. She's a wonderful lady. She has a great track record. I believe my track record does speak for itself. For the last 16 years, I've been able to serve the city of Pompano Beach and take it to what I believe a great new level. And I want to take that extensive experience down in county. I have been privileged to work with Commissioner Bogan on a settlement recently for our CRA to be able to work together. And I believe that working together as partnerships make things happen. And we've been able to do that as a city commission. It's just not me, it's all the commissioners who are here and past commissioners who have served. Working together is very important, and teaming together is very important. I want to continue that level, dealing with transportation, dealing with affordable housing, dealing with sustainability and sea level rising. This district consists of 8 different cities, and most of them are coastal. And I've been privileged to serve as the coastal mayor in the city of Pompano Beach, one of the largest cities in Broward County. So I'm going to continue that, but again, I want to bring that extensive experience down to the county level. Thank you.
Thank you. And final question, we'll go in reverse order. We'll start with Mr. Bogan. What would be the main issue that you hope to advocate for if you become a county commissioner?
The issue that I wanted to advocate for and have advocated for and continue, number 1 is economic development. Since being a county commissioner here, I've held not only a seminar right here in Pat Larkin Center, but in other parts, showing the community how they can get a piece of the county pie. We brought experts here, we brought people here to try to help people get into business and to get county help. So that's number 1, is economic development for the county as well as for the city. Second, and also very important, is affordable housing. We need affordable housing to help our workforce. That's another issue that we need to address. Third is homelessness. We've got a bad homelessness problem. I've been involved in getting a tremendous amount of resources and money to help the homeless problem in building up our homelessness centers right here in Broward County. Thank you.
Thank you. Now to Mr. Ryan Ross.
As my opponent said, all those issues are important, but I guess I would come at it from a different side. There's a lot of money in development, but there's a lot of money too for the people in public service and development, and sometimes that money doesn't really translate as much as getting you a piece of that pie. So that's why I'm saying that I believe we need to invest in our students, start when they're young, and make sure that they all have tuition-free in college and trade school. And so that's an issue I'm passionate about. It's an issue I've donated my salary to. I'm going to continue to donate $50,000 a year until I find the funding. And we're going to invest everything we have into our young so that they're not taking off and leaving 4 to 6 years and not coming back. But they're investing in the local economy, they're starting businesses here, they're starting their families here, and they're continuing to put back into what we've been so great about giving. So I want to kind of give everything that we have back to them, start there, and then take that all the way through to families. Certainly with affordable housing, inclusionary zoning, tax incentives, everything that you can possibly do to invest in our families.
Thank you, Mr. Rocks, and then we'll go in reverse order as well. Mr. Lamar Fisher, Mayor Fisher, what would be the main issue that you would advocate for if you became a county commissioner?
Well, obviously there are several, but being an elected municipal leader is a big difference. And so you're able to, what I want to do most is be able to take those 8 cities that are represented by District 4 and represent the electeds, number one. Number two, the residents of those, that district. And the reason why is because being at this level here, we need a voice down at the county, District 4. And again, trying to team with the other 8 commissioners is most important. Affordable housing is a must. Workforce housing is a must. We can no longer have our workforce traveling in 2 or 3 buses, 2 hours to get to a job. It's just, it can't happen. Affordable housing is number one. Sustainability obviously is a big thing. We do with our beach renourishments, and we also deal with sea level rising. We've been able to do a lot of things here in Pompano Beach for that as well. So I want to carry that aspect of the county. Homelessness is a great issue we've got to deal with. I started a homeless initiative coalition. We came out of that, which really to having a one-stop shop opportunity. I think we can do that at a North facility to be able to have that one-stop shop. Thank you.
Thank you. So we appreciate the candidates for, oh, you didn't go, sorry, Mrs. McCartney. Sorry, wasn't gonna leave you out, sorry about that.
We need a modern Broward County. We need a Broward County that functions. To get companies like Amazon to come here, bring the jobs that we all need, we need a modern county. We need traffic that works. We need a transportation system that works. We need workforce housing. We need to modernize our county. We need vision, and we need people who can implement vision. So we can have the county that we need.
You have time if you'd like to give closing remarks.
Thank you. I guess I will. I'm thrilled to be here. I thank you so much, Deb, for having us. It's my first opportunity to come before folks in Pompano Beach, my neighboring city. I've lived in this district for 40 years in Lighthouse Point, in Oakland Park, and now in Fort Lauderdale. And I'm thrilled with the opportunity to represent you and look forward to seeing you again.
All right, these are our county commission candidates that you heard from. They were for District 2, Ryan Ross, as well as Commissioner Mark Bogan. Please stand. Thank you for being here, gentlemen. You may exit the stage. As well as for District 4, we have Ms. Sherry McCartney and Mayor Lamar Fisher. Thank you so much. Leave your mic there. Thank you. Okie dokie. So those were our county commissioners. Now we're going to Pompano Beach commissioners. And I do believe if we have any Coral Springs, this will wrap up the night and we'll bring you all together. All right, so for who signed in for Pompano Beach Commission District 1, do we have John Kavanaugh? Present, come on down. Pompano Beach Commission District 2, is anyone else for Commission District 1 here? Come on down, give me your name. Pompano Beach Commission District 2, I have Thomas Terwiller and Rhonda Eaton. Welcome. So also in Commission 1, Andrea McGee. Please sit together so we can make a fair comparison. So District 1, John Kavanaugh, Andrea McGee. District 2, Thomas Terwiller. And John Gear also for District 1. Okie dokie. Terwiller and Thomas, am I saying right? Terwiller? And Rhonda Eaton. District 3. Do we have anyone for District 3? Nada? District 3? Nope. Pompano Beach District 4. So we have Beverly Perkins, Carmen Jones, and Ed Phillips. Come on down. As well as Pompano Beach Commission District 5, Miss Leila Navarro. Movero? They put Navarro. Movero. Layla or Leela? Leila Movero and Barry Moss. Welcome. Any other Pompano Beach candidates? Which district? The Miller, District 5. And also from District 5, David Miller. Come on down. I'm just curious, are there any Coral Springs? One? Anybody else from Coral Springs? 2? Is there only 1 from Coral Springs? Come join the party, come on down. And we'll take care of all of our remaining seats at once. Excellent. Tell me your name, come on down, don't be bashful. We'll start with your 30-second introductions in moments. And this will be our final slew of candidates. Miss Diane Simpson, Coral Springs District. Whole city at large, okay. Diane Simpson. Oh, we got a full stage. Love it, all right. So we'll start, are you sitting together? District 1, Pompano Beach. Let's start with Mr. John Kavanaugh.
Hi, good evening, folks. My name is John Kavanaugh. I'm a candidate for city commissioner. You're in the home stretch. We're almost done. Stand up and stretch on these parts and bells. I'm a transplant from Michigan. I've lived in Florida for 21 years. I've got 2 sons, thinking pottery, and closer, better.
Go ahead. I'll give you 10 more seconds. Go ahead.
Pompano Beach for 15 years. I'm the father of twin boys, which is why you see the bags under my eyes, and I'm perpetually losing my voice. I love the city. I look forward to serving as your next commissioner for District 1.
Thank you, John Kavanaugh. Next to Miss Andrea McGee.
Hello, Pompano Beach. Congratulations for staying this late. My name is Andrea McGee. I'm a Pompano Beach native. I am looking forward to representing my district and continuing to build Pompano as an amazing place to live, an amazing place to work, an amazing place to raise a family, and keeping in mind our amazing beaches and keeping them clean.
Thank you. And finally in that race, John Gear.
Good evening, John Gear. I've had 2 successful careers. First as a 23-year member of the Navy Judge Advocate General's Court, and then in a corporation in Washington, D.C. I came to Pompano 9 years ago. I'm impassioned, I'm committed, I have a high degree of integrity, responsibility, and desire to make this city the best place it could possibly be. My firmest belief is that we do not do a particularly good job with regard to our schools, and that will be my principal focus. I think that we do a good job with regard to things in the city, but we don't do a particularly good job with regard to people. Education, homeless, crime, affordable housing, affordable jobs, things that make people the best they can be. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Now to District 2. We're going to start with Miss Rhonda Eaton.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, and good evening, everyone. My name is Rhonda Eaton. I'm a longtime resident of Pompano Beach, lived here in 89, moved here in 89, and I'm so proud to see all the wonderful changes. I've been an advocate and involved in my community for many years. I recently moved to District 2 over the past couple of years. And I'm a kind of glass half full kind of person, and I believe that I have the ways and means to continue the progress with the GO bond that the commission and the Commissioner Burry has done. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Eaton. And in that race, we also have Mr. Thomas Terwiller.
Thank you. I'm Tom Twilliger. I'm the guy that says stop the waste, stop the spending. I've been to every city commission meeting except 3 in the last 5 years. I know how the commission works. I'm there to help it work. And I want to watch your tax dollars, spend your tax dollars in the most wise and efficient way. Something that I don't believe has been done. And I want to save your money. Thank you.
Thank you. No one else again from District 3. That was Mr. Thomas Twilliger. No one from District 3. Now we move to District 4. We have Miss Beverly Perkins.
Hello, Pompano. I am Beverly Perkins. I am currently the Commissioner for District 4. I am up for re-election on November 6th. And the reason that I would like for you to consider voting for me again is because I have been the voice for District 4 since I've been elected. I want you to know that the ball is finally rolling now that I'm the Commissioner in District 4. What we presently need right now, people are saying, well, you know, she talks so much on the dais, but listen, we're getting things done in Pompano. If you look at Pompano, since 1984, I've been involved in politics in Pompano, and I plan to continue. Thank you.
All right, in that same race, Miss Carmen Jones. Or not here, Mr. Ed Phillips.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ed Phillips, and I appreciate everyone being here tonight to hear my position and what I think. I am a lifelong resident. Well, I came to Pompano at age 10, 12. I graduated from Sanders Park. I went to Blanchard where I ran track, played basketball. I was on the first all-black all-state cross-country team. I have a degree from Bethune-Cookman University. I have a graduate hours in Education and Guidance Council from University of Florida. You will see as we talk further here tonight that I have been prepared to do just what we're doing. There are a lot of issues that are coming, and there are more to come.
Thank you very much, Mr. Phillips. District 5, Miss Layla Movero.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta and Alpha Kappa Alpha, and I want to thank all of you for staying this long, very much. I am Layla Movero, and I am running for Pompano Beach Commissioner for District 5. There have been residents for the last 3 years that have been telling me, use your big mouth so our voices can be heard. So I want to bring my energy, my enthusiasm, my leadership, and my problem-solving skills to Pompano Beach because I care. And after all, isn't that half the battle?
Thank you. Next, in that same race, District 5, is Mr. Barry Moss.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for saving the best for last. My name is Barry Moss. I am the Commissioner from District 5. I'll be finishing up my second term and seeking re-election for my third. I'm very proud of working collaboratively with my colleagues on the Commission, with Mayor Fisher and the other commissioners, in making a lot of progress with this town. I'm most especially proud of what's happening in District 5, particularly Collier City, and I hope I'll get the chance to tell you a little bit about all the good things that are happening there.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Moss. Next in that race, we have Mr. David Miller.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for staying to listen. You know, a lot of times people just don't listen. So now we're here. David Miller from District 5. I'm the co-charge ambassador of Pompano Beach, and I've served Pompano Beach 1,000 hours of volunteering, where I had cell phone workshops for the elderly. I work in the community garden. I have volunteered at the community Westview Cemetery. So when you say community, think of me sometime. And one last thing I want to say is, if you want to see some change, maybe the rookie of the year, you want to do it.
And the Lone Ranger from Coral Springs, Miss Diane Simpson, and she says the race is at large, it's citywide.
Citywide,
Okay.
80,000 voters.
Okay.
I'm Diane Gonzalez Simpson. Thank you for the opportunity to come and speak. I am a 55-year-old CPA, mother, real estate investor, artist. The kids are grown. We are empty nesters. We've been empty nesters for about 5 years now. And after February 14th, I said I can do more. I have a small business, I have some real estate investments, and I have some time on my hands. So I'm running in Coral Springs. I was a first-time candidate, never run for anything before. I'm an accountant. Let's put the accountant on the commission.
Thank you very much. So we'll try to keep this as general as possible again because we're representing so many different districts. Tell us what you think is the most important issue in your district and how will you address it? We'll start again with District 1, Mr. John Kavanaugh.
Thank you. Can you hear me this time?
Yes.
I think, you know, the primary issue for not just my district, but for every district is sustainable. I think I'm not unlike a lot of you that, you know, at the end of the day, I want food on the table. I want my kids to have a safe and happy, healthy place to live. But occasionally I would also like to be able to look up in the sky and see something beyond skyscrapers and condos. So for us to have sustainable growth, it's not just developments for retirees who very much deserve to live in a beautiful place like Pompano Beach. It also means nurturing small, mid-sized businesses because that's what keeps people here and it keeps money flowing into our communities.
Thank you. Going to Mr. John Gear.
For me, the most important issue is people. And I think I said in my introduction that people includes education, and I think education is clearly where it all begins. In Pompano Beach, we have 11 elementary schools, 9 of which have a grade of C. I think when we went to school ourselves, the grade of C was oh, thank God I got through that. C is not a good grade. We need to make it better. We need to make our education system a much, much better one, and that will be my focus while I am the commissioner of a commissioner in Pompano Beach. A second issue deals with affordability. Affordable housing, the opportunity for jobs that allow people to live in affordable housing. What are we doing to attract those jobs to our city to give people an opportunity for upward mobility? I believe that we have education, job issues that are the critical issues facing Pompano going forward, and I commit myself to work on both of those issues and make them better in the future.
Thank you. The question is, what do you think is the most pressing issue in your district, and how will you address it? Ms. Andrea McGee.
Thank you. I think in our district right now, the most pressing situation is continued intelligent economic growth. With economic growth comes jobs, comes people, comes tourism, and this is what we need to continue to strive for. I have a background in real estate acquisitions and development from living in Washington, D.C., and was part of building one of the first Gold LEED certified office buildings, which is now a USPTO office. I currently work as a broker from Pompano to Jupiter, and I also have lived in Miami and D.C. and Los Angeles, and have seen what overgrowth or non-intelligent, non-planned out growth looks like. We need to push forward to continue a lot of the progress that has been made in the past few years that comparatively to when I was a child growing up in Pompano, we weren't at, to make sure that we continue to move forward in a way that's most beneficial to all of Pompano to make it a truly amazing city of the future.
Thank you, Ms. Andrea McGee. District 2, Mr. Thomas Torling. Sorry, you want to go first, Ms. Rhonda? Go ahead, Ms. Rhonda. Ms. Rhonda Eaton.
Yes, the most important issue that I think is affecting District 2 is crime and safety. With the advent of the GOV bond, and I think some of the tax dollars being freed up, I want to advocate for safe neighborhood districts in my community and the advent of cameras to reduce crime in our communities. I want to increase our police presence and beautify our streets. Also, one of the most important elements is implementing the regulations that the city has done regarding recovery residents, where we have scam operators who end up throwing people out of the homes because their insurance is run out. They end up re-addicted. They end up on the street homeless, therefore adding to the vicious cycle of crime. So those are the most important issues, and I believe in glasses half full. I'm a boots on the ground, and I will work for you to make these changes. Thank you.
Time is evening, and Mr. Thomas Torlinger.
Thank you. I'm Tom Twilliger. And as I look over this community, I see that the community is for the people, it's not for the tourists. And for the last many years, the money that the city has got has gone to the beach, it's gone to the tourists, and most of the people that pay the taxes never go to those facilities. Yet, they pay the taxes and they get nothing. I see the biggest problem is we've got to bring the money back to the taxpayers, back to the people that pay those taxes on a daily basis. We got to make their neighborhoods better. If they want streetlights or they want sidewalks, we got to work with them. If they want better police protection, and we do need that in many areas, they've got to get it. Basically, we've got to focus on the people, the taxpayers, the people that are paying the bills. Because right now, they're not getting a fair shake. Thank you.
Thank you. Now on to District 4, Ms. Beverly Perkins.
We have many pressing issues in District 4, but I think one of the main issues we have right now is economic development. We've been doing a lot of building as far as apartments and homes in District 4, but there are no businesses. We need businesses in District 4. We got to start with economic development so that we can employ people, educate people so that they can work in our district with economic development. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And moving on to Mr. Ed Phillips, also in District 4.
I'm just going to say I have a business I've had for 93 years, but I need to approach this a little different. My concerns and the problems as I see them are multifaceted and multi-linked. Because of the amount of development that's coming to our area, the first priority that a commissioner should have is ensuring the stabilization of his neighborhood. Understand what I'm saying? I need you to digest that. Ensuring the stabilization of your neighborhood. To ensure as business encroaches that we still have some place to stay. Now what happens with, we're gonna encourage business, but there's another component. It's called workforce housing. Everyone likes to talk about that, but we have to help them redefine what workforce housing is. There's two sets of workforce housing. There's a part that I say for teachers and doctors and lawyers. Then there's a part for the maintenance work. The garage key. That part is
Time.
125, 130,000 dollar home versus
Time.
the 200 or 300,000
Thank you,
dollar
Mr.
homes.
Phillips.
Thank you.
Time. All right, District 3, we have a candidate that has joined us, but you're gonna come to the stage and I'm gonna continue with this and then you'll do your introduction, okay? So District 4, we're gonna go, or excuse me, District 5, we're gonna go to Miss Layla Marrero.
Hi, everybody. Same problems everybody's been bringing up. We've got housing issues, we've got homeless people, we've got schools that we need to make sure our community continues to support so that the schools will continue to thrive, continue to get better. But one of the biggest problems I think we have is that our commission forgets we have to work together. While we all represent individual districts, we all represent this city. And unless we work together, and unless we fight together, this city will not continue to get national recognition for being a great city. And you're gonna lose that hometown feeling because everybody will be fighting amongst each other. I need this for my district. I need this for my district. How about let's all watch out for each other and pay attention to each other's district too.
Thank you, Ms. Marrero. Going on to Mr. Barry Moss.
Thank you very much. District 5 is a tale of two cities. South of Atlantic Boulevard, there are thousands of condominium units, almost all of them self-sufficient. The needs there aren't great. North of Atlantic Boulevard is Collier City, where the needs are greater. And I'm very proud to have worked with the residents of Collier City in making some pretty impressive improvements there. Since I've been in office for the 3.5 years, between what has been built, what is currently being built, or what is in the planning stages, there are over 100 new units coming to Collier City. And as much as I'd like you to think that I take credit for all of that, I can't. All of this is happening in Collier City because of the Collier City Civic Association and its leadership. We have set a standard of cooperating and working with the city and making good things happen there. So I want to congratulate Collier City Civic Association. I pledge to continue to work with them and making improvements that's going to turn that part of town right around.
Thank you, Mr. Moss. Again, the question is, what do you feel is the most pressing issue in your district and how will you address it? Mr. Miller?
Yes, I think that my district, like our current commissioner said, is tell two sides. One side looks good, the other side is trying to find pride. So right now, I think that we just need to change the mindset. If you have a trash can on the ground, trash on the ground, that don't mean you throw your trash on the ground, pick it up and clean it up. I work on a committee, public arts. We gotta raise the morale. Public arts, I make decisions, $100,000 decisions on the imagery of the city. So when we start taking pride in what our city looks like, I believe that'll start solving our problems. Because if it looks like a slum in Black area, and y'all keep calling it that, put cheap houses in there, keep on putting cops in there, and everybody gonna treat it like that. Come to get their gentleman club parties and their liquor and all that. So now we're trying to upscale what we want our city to be. And it's just that simple. We gotta change the morale and the way we mind things. Because just like you wanna add guns in the community, I'm what you call a good guy gun holder.
Time down. My mic even ran out of battery. Look at that. All right. Going on to our candidate from Coral Springs, Ms. Diane Simpson.
Hi, okay, so in Coral Springs, we got a couple of hot issues, same as what you guys have, I'm sure. Number one we've got is taxes. They raised the millage rate 22% this year. And they told the homeowners, well, it's only gonna be $10 a month, except not for the businesses, because the businesses are not homesteaded. The businesses are always at fair market value. That's for the value. And then the rate went up 22%, the millage rate. So that's a problem. Number two.
Are you gonna vote to change it? What are you gonna do?
What am I gonna do? I'm gonna say, listen, that's not our money, that's the taxpayers' money. We need to spend that money wisely. The budget is prepared by the staff, but then it's presented to the commission. There's nobody financial on the commission. We have lawyers, we have a realtor, we have someone that does sales and marketing, and they have to approve the budget and pass the budget and set the tax rate. I'm saying let's put an accountant on the commission, because they ask very few questions when it comes to financial issues. I'm out of time.
All right, Ms. Simpson, thank you. Thank you. All right, we're gonna do the introduction of candidate for District 3, Ms. Carmen Jones. You have the 4, District 4. You may introduce yourself. You have 30 seconds. Can you pass her the mic, please? So you are with Beverly Perkins and Ed Phillips, that same race, okay? All right, just making it clear for everyone. Go ahead, you have 30 seconds to introduce yourself.
My name is Carmen Dixon Jones, and I'm a 4th generation Pompanoian. My family moved to Pompano Beach in 1921. And one of the main reasons I'm running for election for District 4 is to bring back diplomacy. We must be able to garnish enough support from the dais to really get anything done. And one of the main things I would like to see done is to begin to have job creation, real job creation, home ownership, and accountability. Remember Carmen Dixon Jones, November 6th. Thank you.
What do you feel is the most pressing issue in your district? What will you do to address it?
The most pressing issue, we have a lot of issues. We definitely need job creation, and we need a lot of psychological help. We've got to begin to continue to bring up the psyche of a lot of our people. We have a lot of disadvantaged people, we have a lot of depressed people, we have a lot of people that need a lot of help. We've got to emphasize a lot on those issues. In addition to that, home ownership will be major in our district to begin to bring us up economically. A man respects a property if he owns it. We can't continue to build rental, low-income housing, in my opinion, and think for this District 4 to begin to rise and move forward with the remainder of the district. Those are my main goals.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and we will start, you can take your seat, and then we will start with our final question of the evening, your 1-minute response, and if you have time left over, you can give a closing remark. Oftentimes, we only see candidates at election time. What have you done in our community prior to your run for this position? And what assurance can you give us that you will remain visible in our community? We'll start with District 1. We'll change the order. We'll start with Ms. Andrea McGee.
Hello. Since high school and middle school and elementary school in Pompano Beach and in Fort Lauderdale, Colonel Gibbons, I've always been involved between Boys and Girls Club, Habitat for Humanity. I used to do a beach powder puff football game that has given money to everything from autism to homelessness to cancer research. I've been involved with Broward Surfrider Foundation, Miami Surfrider Foundation, DC Surfrider Foundation, 4Ocean. I was a board of director for the Gold Coast Jazz Society. I was raised by a family who's very involved in the community. I was brought up that this was a way to be, this was life, was to stay involved, stay active, stay vocal, and try and do good for the community wherever you can best fit. And I look forward to continuing this, I guess, tradition of working hard for my home, my family, my friends, and I hope that you will support Andrea McGee for District 1. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. John Geer.
I've been fairly active. I've been fortunate enough to be appointed to 2 boards on the commission level. One is the Zoning Board of Appeals and one is the Charter Amendment Board. I've been on those for almost 2 years. I have been a member of the board of directors of a condominium association as well as the president of that association for 8 years. I have been very, very active in my church, and I have generally been very, very active with regard to things that I see and I'm interested in. I've been active in writing to the Pelican and other newspapers about things that I find bothersome about the city. I was one of the first people who wrote an article about what was going on in Section 4 with regard to chickens and garbage and other issues that I think prompted some action from the commission. I think I have been pretty active. I've been around and I've enjoyed the opportunity to meet the people and primarily to listen to them. I'm a why guy. Why do we do things? Why do we not do things? How can we make things better? And I think you do that by listening a great deal.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Geer. Finishing up District 1, Mr. John Kavanaugh.
Well, I have the good fortune, I think I mentioned, that I have 2 young sons, and with that comes some of the responsibilities and then raising them the right way. Part of that involves being involved with the Cub Scouts of Pompano Beach. They're a great organization, and certainly it has opened my eyes. I'm a city boy, so camping is not exactly my forte. I like sleeping in a bed in a hotel or in my house. On top of it, I work for a company called LexisNexis, and we really pride ourselves on the commitment that we make to the community that we live in. My company is great. They give me 2 full vacation days a year to volunteer my time to any organization that I see fit. So being part of the community, living in the community, being out in the community, it's important. We're here not only to help ourselves, we're supposed to be helping each other. I want to take the last couple seconds and thank you all for staying. Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to register to vote.
Thank you, Mr. Kavanaugh. District 2, same question. Starting in reverse order. Mr., you can say your last name.
Thank you. Tom Terwilliger. Thank you. My proof is that I've been at every city commission with the exception of 3 and 5 years. I'm very visible. I speak at every one of those commission meetings telling them, don't spend wasteful money. Not only that, I ran in 2016 against the 10-year incumbent at that time, and I got 45% of the vote. Just a few hundred votes difference and I would have won. I've been running, I could go to about 3,000 to 5,000 houses every year, knock on doors, and I say, hello, I'm Tom Terwilliger. These people say, I've never had anybody come to my door before, but I'm there. People know who I am. They want to hear what I have to say. They agree with it, and I'm out there to support them. When I win this election, I will stand by that and give them every bit of my efforts and that I can do. I'm ready to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you. And his opponent, Ms. Rhonda Eaton.
Yes, thanks. When I bought my home in Crest Haven 4 years ago, I was asked to be on the Crest Haven Civic Association board. I served for a year, then 2 years as president and current past president. One of the things that we've done in Crest Haven, in our civic association, is through social media. We're increasing our membership. We're reaching out to the people. We're getting streetlights done. We did a GoFundMe page to pay for our landscaping and entryway signs. And I've actually dug the holes and put the plants in and got that done. I advocated for the Go Box, walking my community, standing at the polls, passing out literature, talking to people when they called, asking questions. When they asked a question, I found the answer. If they had an issue, I followed through on those issues. That's what I want to do. As your representative for District 2 City Commission, I want to continue to move forward. I believe we've got great things on the horizon. I want to make sure that District 2 gets its fair share. Thank you.
Moving on to District 4, we're going to start with Mr. Ed Phillips.
I'm just going to start naming a litany of things I've been a part of. President of the Parkways Homeowners Tenants Association, that was 100 units of substandard housing, which eventually got demolished. Chairman of the Affirmative Action Committee for the Democratic Party of Broward County. Member of the Pompano Beach Board of Directors for the Chamber of Commerce. I've served on pretty much every board that the city has in the city of Pompano. President of Pompey Elementary PTA, member of the SAC Committee for Blanchard High School. I chaired just about every single Tiger Trail Festival committee of which we've had to reach throughout the whole city to organize and bring folks together in that initiative. So my skills of organizing and bringing folks together stands very strong. My involvement in this community is unquestionable. I was part of the committee, the MLK committee, where Ms. Perkins was in charge, but I helped with that effort in renaming the city streets.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
We're going to go here first.
And also I'm gonna make it so we do that.
Thank you. We're going to go to Ms. Carmen Dixon Jones.
Thank you. I was the first chairperson of the Tiger Trails Festival when the city was celebrating its 100th anniversary. I was commissioned by E. Pat Larkins to go over to the other side of the track to ensure that we would have activities on the west side of the track celebrating the city's 100th anniversary. So that was actually the creation of bringing both sides of Pompano Beach together, the east side and the west side, in 2008. I was the creator of that. Secondly, I am on the Pompano Beach Housing Authority Board. I've served there for 3 years. I'm actually on the Broward County Children's Services Board. I've actually served there for 3 years. Both those boards oversees multi-million dollars. I've served on a number of housing boards. I've served on the Pompano Beach Education Committee, the Pompano Budget Review Committee. I can go on and on. But diplomacy is what District 4. We've got to be able to get things done from the dais. Thank you.
And rounding out that group, I think she already has a mic. Go ahead, Miss Beverly Perkins.
What is your question again?
The question is, oftentimes we only see candidates at election time. What have you done in our community prior to your run for this position? And what assurance can you give us that you will remain visible in our community?
I'm always visible in my community because I believe in knocking on doors. I still believe in calling our seniors. I'm a grassroots person, so I believe in hands-on because I'm very passionate about my community, being born and raised here. I am passionate about texting people about what's going on in the city, emailing what's going on in the city so that everybody is informed. I have produced a newsletter so that the community will see and know what's going on in the community. From the dais in my reports, I'm always giving reports as to what's going on in my community, how to inform the community what's going on. But mainly, knocking on doors, walking in the community is something I've been doing ever since I've been elected, and I will continue to do. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Perkins. Moving on to District 5, in reverse order, we'll start with David Miller.
The question.
What have you done in our community prior to your run for this position, and what assurance can you give us that you will remain visible in our community?
What I've done in this community, 2015, I was out there helping counsel drug addicts on 6th Street and 27th Avenue, from 12 to 2 a.m. What have I done in this community? I've actually worked with people to understand that it is the mindset we have to change. See, a little historical fact. I'm a part of the Historical Society, Pompano Historical Society, and my father was the first black general contractor of Pompano Beach, 1956. And that goes along with the morality, the thought process. You gotta take pride in your land before anybody else do. So everybody wanna buy up Pompano, and that's what I wanted to get at. CRA, we can hear these things because I'm also a part of the Greater Collier City Homeowners Association, where we build awareness to things. So we hear all kind of stories about, oh, they taking our land, or they giving all the contracts to outsiders. So that's not the way to take pride in our land. We need to find the residents that can work for us.
Thank you. Time, Mr. Miller. Thank you very much. Next to Mr. Barry Moss.
Thank you very much. The question is, what haven't I done? I am the president of my condominium building. I'm the vice president of my condominium association, 382 units. I sit on the executive board of Palm Bay United, 11,000 units. I've attended every single Collier City Civic Association meeting since I've been in office. I'm an active participant in my church. I've served on the Pompano Beach Parks and Recreation Board, and most importantly, I think, is every single Saturday from 9 till 11 a.m. I hold a meeting with constituents at the Herbst Skolnick Center. This has been going on now for 36 years. There are people in this room who attend those meetings, and that is, I think, the most effective way to keep in touch with the community. Anyone, not just in Palmyra or Collier City or District 5, is welcome to come every single Saturday, 2 hours, the Herbst Skolnick Center. If you've got an issue, come and see me. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Leila Rivera.
Okay, this one's not going to be easy. If anybody's really interested, my information cards are in the back. Let me get started and see how fast I can talk. Chamber of Commerce, board member for 10 years. I'm a trustee member, and I chaired the Shining Stars Award Luncheon for 9 years. Rotary Club of Pompano Beach, our oldest Rotary Club. I'm a past treasurer, past board member of 6 or 7 years. I oversee our youth exchange students, both incoming and outgoing, and I oversee the 50 members Interact Club at the Pompano Beach High School, where in the last 2 years we did 2,400 hours of community service. My partner and I, Ray Doucette, donated over 1,000 hours each year for the past 2 years at Pompano Elementary, running the free karate program, and threw in a couple thousand of our own money and a couple thousand from the Rotary Club to support the program also. Woodhouse, I'm on the board of the Woodhouse, which is our home for intellectual.
Go ahead, give it to your partner. Go ahead. Last but not least, thank you, Ms. Movero. Thank you. And finally, from the city of Coral Springs, Ms. Diane Simpson.
Okay, thank you. So early on, like early in the 90s, I was the president of a local chapter of Business and Professional Women's Club. I did that about 5 years. Let's see, and then when we had the children, I started out as a Sunday school teacher, a Girl Scout teacher, Girl Scout leader, youth leader, been on mission trips, helped in the Gateway Food Pantry. I was pretty much a helicopter mom. So you can see that since the kids have been gone for 5 years, I've got some more time on my hands. If I'm elected, what I will do to continue to be visible in the community, I'm gonna have regular office hours so that the people can come and talk to me, talking on the phone, answering the phone. The gentleman that I'm running against, you will know, that has no office hours. That's it. I am running for the first time, Diane Gonzalez Simpson. I'm actually a New Yorican, and I'm running for commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's dismiss by district. Let's hear it for District 1. The candidates again are John Kavanaugh, Andrea McGee, and John Gear. Thank you for being with us. You may exit the stage. District 2, Miss Rhonda Eaton, Thomas Terwilliger. Thank you. District 3, no one. District 4, Miss Carmen Dixon Jones, Miss Beverly Perkins, and Mr. Ed Phillips. Thank you for being here this evening. District 5, Miss Leila Movero, Mr. Barry Moss, and Mr. David Miller. Thank you. And finally, the Lone Ranger. Thank you. For City of Coral Springs, Miss Diane Rosales Simpson. Thank you. Guys, for being, how are you? Such wonderful audience members and guests. On behalf of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated and Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, we want to thank you, our guests, our voters, for sticking it out and being with us. And we hope this will help you make a more informed decision. Thank you to all the organizers, planning committee, and there's literature for everyone you heard from tonight outside. I am Suzette Speak.